Hello, everybody. I'm not going to make you run laps. That's why I learned martial arts. This chassis doesn't run. So we're going to do some joint locks. We're going to work on some joint locks. And I'm going to teach you how to throw pressure points into the joint locks to make them more effective, make your job easier. Everybody down for that? Yes? Okay. So we're going to set a little groundwork first, and we're going to start with something very, very simple. My lovely assistant here, who has a way better beard than me. Turn this way. Okay. All right. We're going to start with person grabbing you like this, cross grab, right? Okay. Why would somebody grab you like this? Anybody? Bueller? Exactly. Yes. You're the first person that's ever said that whenever I've asked that question. He's going to pull me. He's trying to pull me so that he can probably hit me in the back of the head. Understand? Okay. We're going to do a move that I affectionately call the Harry Potter. Okay. So all you're going to do is this hand's going to come up like this, and you're going to make a fist, and you're going to flick your wand. Okay. You don't want to do this. I just left myself wide open for a strike. Understand? What you want is here and that. Guys, do a move like that at all? Yes? Okay. All right. To make this job a little bit easier, because if he resists me, I have a hard time doing that. But if I drop my elbow first, no, you're supposed to resist. Okay. If I drop my elbow first, I can do that very simply. See that? Okay. Because I'm getting underneath the technique. Okay. We have a tendency, we see these movements where you're moving in these circular motions and you think that that's the motion that's doing it. No. I need to get underneath this lock, underneath this grip. Okay. To do that, all I have to do is drop my elbow. Drop my shoulder, drop my elbow. You can already see that I'm underneath it. From here, you're just going to bring it up and here. Okay. There is a pressure point right here. Okay, I'm going to give you some numbers and names. Those of you here for Bob Bethany's seminar, we were shouting out like gallbladder and all that stuff. We use, acupuncture's already done the map for us. We use acupuncture nomenclature because you can go and get any book on acupuncture or any website and look it up and say, oh, that's where he was talking about, okay? So right underneath here is a point called heart point 6, okay? Its job is it releases his wrist. If he makes a fist, make a fist, don't let me bend it. Strong like bull. Okay, if I just do that, you see it makes it go. Okay, so what I want is when he grabs, I want to try to get my fist to lay right on that point. Understand? Okay, we're just starting here. This is getting us into the lock. Okay, from here, you just flick the wand. That's what should happen. If it doesn't let go, I don't know about you, but you have two hands. I have two hands. So if he doesn't let go, I just knock it off. Understand? But did you notice his body turned away from me? Okay, if he's grabbed a hold of me and he's pulling me in, where's that strike coming from? It's coming from there. If this is up here, it's kind of difficult for him to punch me there. When I release it, you notice that it turns his body away. Okay, so you're getting away from the weapon. One of the things you should always be doing in your training is always asking, where's the weapon? Where's the weapon? Where's the weapon? Understand? All right, everybody try this one first, and we're going to build off of it. Okay? Everybody real quick, this is kind of just like a little side note, a little tweak, okay? Okay, do the motion, okay? You see how he's got his fingers out? Don't do that, okay? Put your fingers back out again. Open your hand, do it again. Okay, I do small circle jiu-jitsu also. I see fingers, those are 4 little flags saying grab me, grab me, grab me, okay? But it's also, you want to do, when we do that, you want to do what we call the shock and awe, okay? So this part is the shock, okay? When I do this, I shock first, then I grab. See, he's defending against the technique, and I have that opportunity to grab and then do the technique afterwards. Does that make sense? Okay, so don't open your hand when you do it, okay? Probably 95% of the people don't know to grab your fingers and counter it, but that is the counter to it. Literally, if I go like this and I have my hand open, if he just touches my fingertips, just touches, I cannot do this lock on him. That is the counter to the move. Understand? Okay, so we don't want to be countered. All right, so the next part is I want to trap this hand to my wrist, okay? Now, common mistake that a lot of people make is they do this. And then they do this. Tie up both my hands. He's still got a hand free to punch me ridiculously over and over again, okay? This hand's here. I'm just gonna bring it up to my hand, okay? Understand? Okay? So you're gonna drop that shoulder to the elbow. You're coming underneath the lock. Bring it up to your hand. Once you're here, you do that first move. Understand? Now, he is basically what we call frozen. He can't punch me or kick me with any, can't kick me because he'll fall down. He can punch me, but not with any authority. Understand? And now I'm gonna take my hand, I'm gonna slide right over the top of his wrist. Can you guys see? Did you see that? Okay. Okay. So here, I'm going to slide. Okay. What does that look like? Yeah. Okay, that same motion, that's exactly what you want to do. Go slow and do it easy, because remember, this point releases the wrist. I don't have to push on it hard for it to release the wrist. So his wrist is already compromised. If you do this hard and fast, you can break the person's wrist pretty easily. Okay? Don't do that. Well, it's fun, but don't do it. Okay, so up, shock, grab, boom, okay? You guys do that? All right, let's do it. We have a tendency to do things that are, in martial arts, that are counter to nature. A good example, we always think that when somebody is attacking us, we want to get them away from us. We want to bring them in close. You know, all the old literature, it said treat your attacker like a lover. That's kind of what it was talking about. It wasn't, you know, treat him like a lover. It was bring him in close, because that's where you can do all the cool things that you've been taught. Understand? All right. Somebody once said, it wasn't until Americans started doing martial arts that we started doing this and sparring. This is consensual self-defense. We agree to fight each other. This is non-consensual self-defense, because unless he invited me into his personal space, he didn't consent to it. And this is where all the really good stuff happens. Okay? In every martial art, there are two skill sets hidden within your katas. One is called Kyusho Jitsu, which is striking pressure points, and the other one is Tuite Jitsu, which is grabbing and seizing of pressure points. And that's what we're doing right now, is Tuite. And it's in all your katas, okay? This movement we're actually doing is anytime you do this to your side, okay? So the movement is what tells us how to perform the technique. Because once I get this locked on, all I do is drop my elbows like I'm going to one hip or the other. And it puts him right here in front of me. Okay? So now you can do whatever you want to do. For me, boom, right there in the back of the head, pressure point gallbladder 20 will put him down on the ground. Won't guarantee to knock him out, probably would, but it's going to at least, because I'm hitting him on what's called the occipital nerve, his vision's going to go all screwy, he's going to lose his balance, he's going to fall down. Okay? All right, so from here, I'm going to, oh, this is another little cool little trick. Resist. Okay, someone's resisting. It doesn't have to be his hand, it can be any part of his body. But if someone's grabbed you with any kind of authority, would you really go like this? No. Boom, hit it. Actually, there's some cool pressure points in between the knuckles that we could hit that would suck and make him let go, and it ruins the whole technique for me, because then I can't do it. Okay? So, you're going to drop that elbow. You're going to come up and over. You're going to come across this, and then just drop your elbows. And see how that pulls him right in? I still have the lock. Even if he lets go with his hand, I still have the lock. Okay? Which means he's not going anywhere, and you can do what we're going to do next. Okay?
Can you turn him again from this angle?
Sure. From this angle. Okay, so drop that elbow. Okay, circle up. Boom. And all I did was drop my elbows. Okay, so slow motion. Up. Shock. Trap. Drop my elbows. There he is. Okay? Yeah? A lot of the motions we do in martial arts, we over-exaggerate the motion, because if you were to do it the way it's supposed to be done, you can't see it. How can you learn if you can't see it? So we have to over-exaggerate motions. The idea is take that over-exaggeration of the motion and start making it smaller and smaller and smaller. One of my teachers, Professor Wally J., that was his whole entire theory, was to take the traditional throws and locks of jiu-jitsu and just keep making it smaller and smaller and smaller until you get the tightest possible circle that you're doing the motion in, and it causes the maximum amount of pain. Okay?
Right.
All right, so everybody try this one, and then we'll go on to the next move.
It's funny, I was...
Right here, in this pocket right here, okay, is a pressure point called triple wormer 11. It's what's known as the Golgi tendon organ. You have many of them in your body. Okay, Golgi tendon organ, its job is to measure the tension in the tendon. We're tricking it into thinking there's too much tension in the tendon and the elbow needs to relax. I'm overriding basically the nervous system, okay? Pressure points are not just nerves. They're connective tissues, they're the fascia, there's a lot of them, because we have found that a lot of pressure points are not on a nerve. There's actually no nerve there, other than basic sensory nerves. There's no pain receptor nerve there, okay? But this point is an unusual one. It does not respond to a hit, okay? It responds, here, let me use this arm.
Wire plastic shoulder.
Oh, give me that arm again, okay? If I do this, he just gets annoyed with me. If I take this and I do that, you see that reaction, okay? And all I was doing was giving him basically a noogie. See, growing up with an older brother did help out, okay? Now, sometimes that's a little hard to do, and in a fight, would you want to rely on that? You might slip off, okay? That's why when I did it, I grabbed his sleeve, so I don't slip off as much, understand? But you can also do this with the side of your arm, okay? Number one mistake that people do when they do an arm bar, okay? Resist. My palm is facing forward, he's resisting, there's no way I'm gonna get it out. Turn it sideways, resisting a little bit, I'm starting to get it. If I turn this way, it's easy to get. Has nothing to do with other than the fact that what is the strongest position when we're lifting weights? This. Why do you guys always have your arms out like this? Because it's strong. It's a strong structure, and that's why it works. The other beauty is, if he tries to escape out of this by reaching up and grabbing my hand and trying to pull it, he's going to put the lock on himself. That works for me. Okay? The less work I have to do, the better. Okay? So, here, drop, get underneath it. Come up, shock him. Get that grab, get him down. Here, drag him. Understand? Can you guys do that? Go for it! Tony, can I break? Remember, you don't feel these very well, right?
No, I feel I'm good now.
Okay, I feel good now. Okay, so that one is not one of my favorite points. It's one of Professor J's favorite points. Okay, he called it the Golgi tendon receptor or something like that. Okay, there's one that's above it that I prefer. Actually, there's two above it that I prefer. Okay, so here's your arm. Here's his elbow. You use your opponent's elbow as your guide as to how to hit these. Okay, the first one, so that was triple wormer 11. It's called NUE, and I can't remember the last part of it. If you ever look at an acupuncture chart, it says N-UE, that means new, upper extremity, and then the number. It means they found it after some of the original 361 points they found. Okay, you also see MUE, which means miscellaneous. Those were ones they found after the original 361. So there's like hundreds and hundreds of pressure points or acupuncture points on the body, okay? So this one here responds to a back and forth motion this way, but then this one that's just a little bit above it, it's triple wormer 12, and it's a hit point. It's my favorite one, okay? You just have to hit it whichever direction the elbow is facing, okay? So right now his elbow is facing, I'd hit it this way. If his elbow was facing this way, I'd hit it down. So I have to, one of the struggles that people have with pressure points is it's all about the angle and direction. You have to hit it the right way. Just like in acupuncture, you have to stick the needle in the right way. The reason why you have to hit it the right way is you're trying to take that connective tissue, that nerve or whatever, and press it against something that's bony to elicit that response, okay? And sometimes there was a video going around where a guy saw somebody hitting people on gallbladder 20 back here and knocking them out. So he just started walking around randomly hitting people there, and he would get mixed results. Well, it's because he wasn't hitting it the right way. He was hitting it straight in, If I hit that straight in, it's just annoying. But if I hit it up and in, you feel that buzz go straight up into your head. Okay? It's the angle and direction is important because when I hit it this way, I'm hitting it into muscle. It's not going to do anything. If I hit it that way, I'm hitting it into the base of his skull. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay? So that's why it's important. You have to follow the angle and direction of the point. Make sense? So when I have him like this, I have to follow that point. If I do this and he goes down, if his elbow changes direction, now his elbow is pointed that way, I have to go back that way. So I just follow it. Understand? Okay? Whatever point you follow. Right up underneath here, there's a great point. Dan, can I borrow you? Okay? Right up underneath here. If I do this, you feel that, right?
Oh, yeah.
But you see what happened when I tilt your head is now tilted this way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If I keep pushing that way, I'm not pushing on to the point anymore. If I push downwards, you go down.
Oh, yeah.
Understand? Okay? That's the importance of angle and direction. That's how important it is. Fortunately, kata maps that out for us. If you just follow the move that you're applying in the kata, it usually will solve that problem for you. A lot of times we found when we're trying a technique, if it's not quite working, we go back to the kata and we find out we were doing something slightly different. Okay? Everything from your stance work to everything you're doing comes into play. That could be a key reason why it's not working. Okay? I remember one of the first years I came here, they were talking and they said, oh, you're one of those small circle guys. Put me in a finger lock. And he was trying to show how he could use, it's called the Bushikin? Bushikin? To counter my move. And I let him do it because it does work. But I have a counter to that. There's always a counter to it. There's always a counter to it. I was the kid when I was first started doing martial arts, I was 4.5. And I was constantly would ask Sensei questions. Sensei spoke Korean, didn't speak a lot of English, and there were words he used that he only used with me that I've never heard other people say, and I'm pretty sure it was a swear because I was the annoying kid. But we would do this, and I'm like, Sensei, isn't that just a back fist? And he'd just look at me and walk off, or we do this, isn't that just a hammer? I would always be asking these questions. I wasn't supposed to ask those questions. I wasn't ready for that knowledge yet. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So one of the things that learning this stuff and training with Professor Dillman and Professor Jay and Professor Praises, and now I study with a guy named Bruce Jutnick, is they're opening my way of thinking and analyzing every move we do. Yeah? Okay? So when he grabs me by my wrist, okay, we were doing big moves. For me to drop my elbow, all I actually have to do is drop my shoulder. All I have to do is relax my shoulder. I'm underneath it. To bring my elbow up, or my hand up, I don't have to lift my arm. All I have to do is rotate my hip, and my arm will start to rise all on its own. Understand? And then when I get to here, all I'm going to do is reset that hip. I'm going to go back to where I was, and there's the lock. Understand? Okay, now he went over there. That's perfectly fine with me because all I'm going to do is just lower my base a little bit, and I'm on that point. And now I would grab him by the head, and if I collapse these two, I'm going to break his wrist, and at the same time I'm going to knock him out. Understand? And all I did was that. Okay? One of the things my current teacher tells me to do is whenever you're doing a movement, in anything you're doing, try to figure out what moves first. Okay? There's a good chance whatever you move first is what he moves first. We have a tendency when you're training with your partners, watch this, they'll mirror what you do. A lot of times they'll do exactly the same thing you're doing. We have a technique out of a kata. I do a kata called Nahanchi. That starts here and you do this cross step and you do this. And one of the bunkai we have is if the person pushes you, you are to do this and cross step. Watch. You're one of the few people that didn't cross step.
Sorry.
Okay? Most people will cross step to catch themselves. They'll mirror my motion.
I was going to throw myself.
Yeah, that's what I was going to throw myself.
I was going to throw myself over there.
You can always tell a guy who's done jiu-jitsu, Hapkido, Aikido, whatever, they're already ready to launch themselves in the air to save the gym, to save the limbs. Okay? But that's the case, is a lot of times they'll do the exact same thing you're doing to counter it. And it actually is a counter move. If you're doing a movement on someone upstairs, like from the waist above, if you cross your legs, you can resist the technique. If you can try this with each other, just real quick, put this lock on each other, the one we're doing, and then cross your legs. If I go like this, cross your leg, do a cross step, you can resist that. Of course, my counter is to cross step. If I do it too, it even Steven. Understand? Anything that person is doing below, like kicking you in points in the legs, if you cross your arms, it'll cancel that out. It's temporary. It's not permanent, it's temporary. Okay, we found one position that will basically block everything. It's if you stand like this. How do you fight like this? We had a guy, we literally just took turns hitting. We did everything but hit him with a chair. And you feel the impact of the hit, but it doesn't hurt. But again, you can't fight like this. You can't do anything. So it's a worthless thing to practice. But there's what they call iron shirt, but it's in your katas. Anytime you're touching a part of your body, anytime you're doing these type of things, you're canceling something out. You're protecting something. One of my theories is that UECHI is designed with all the conditioning to protect the pressure points from the elbow to the fingertips. Because 99% of the time when someone attacks you, what do they give you? An arm. Whether it's a push, a grab, or hit, it's an arm coming at you. If I can attack these points, that's great, fight's over. If I can't, then we have to have non-consensual self-defense, and I'm probably gonna be the one that's gonna lose unless I change the roles. Make sense? Okay, that is it for me. Thank you, thank you.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe to Live Dan D.